Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to RP Hardware and a brand new video where we're gonna look at the top 3 best gaming monitors around $150 in 2022. Now, picking up a display around this price point is giving you all the essential stuff to get a good gaming experience, especially if you're looking to play demanding AAA titles. These 3 monitors won't let you down. However, it is worth having in mind that there are a few key things you are going to sacrifice with a slightly cheaper monitor compared to a more expensive one. But don't worry guys, I'm going to explain everything you need to know in today's video. Also, cheaper monitors tend to not be as optimal for fast-paced esport games and first-person shooters. If you're looking for an affordable, fast and snappy monitor for competitive gaming in particular, I am actually including one that will work great for that as well. So you definitely want to stick around till the end of the video for that particular monitor. But let's go ahead and get started. The first monitor on the list comes from Philips called 242E1GSG, which has been on sale multiple times, ranging between $116 and $200. Right at this moment, however, it is not on sale, but do keep an eye on this one, as we are most definitely going to see a price drop fairly soon again. With that said, let's start with the specifications. So this is a 24-inch Full HD display, which is the most common and the ideal size for 1080p monitors. Pixels won't look too big and text won't be too small. The screen is simply a great sweet spot for this particular resolution. Now, 1080p resolution is still the dominating resolution for gaming in 2022, even though 1440p is now starting to catch up a bit. Now, here's a cool thing, something worth having in mind is that you typically don't need a high-end GPU in order for games to look nice and crisp and run smoothly on a Full HD display. Now, this obviously comes down to what type of games you're planning on playing, but generally for high refresh rate, gaming at 1080p, you'll be fine with a GTX 1660 Super or a Radeon RX 6600 for 60 FPS gaming at high to medium settings. A Radeon RX 580 or a GTX 1060 are still perfectly good enough GPUs. Let's move on to refresh rate and response time. The monitor's got a 144Hz refresh rate and a 1 millisecond response time, which is more or less the standard on any gaming monitor these days. If you haven't experienced 144Hz before, you're gonna be amazed how smooth games will run and play. I still remember when I first experienced 144Hz, I remember playing around with the cursor in Windows. Seeing the cursor move around with zero stutter was just amazing. Nowadays, I have a hard time not playing on a high refresh rate screen. It is simply just too good to be without. It is simply put a game changer. Anyway, let's take a look at the panel type. So we see that we find a VA display here, and that means that contrast and black levels are going to be top notch. Everything is, however, not bells and whistles. VAs do not have the best colors, and sometimes things can look a little bit blurry on a VA display when things are moving around too quickly, and that is because VA panels do tend to not be as fast as a TN panel, for example. Now, this can of course be annoying if you're quite picky, especially if you're planning on playing competitive esports shooters. There are definitely better options worth considering that we are gonna take a look at in just a bit. Anyway, for screen tear prevention, we do find AMD FreeSync Premium for a tear-free experience when you wanna play games at lower frame rate. Now lastly, for stand and ports, we do find an HDMI and a display port. The stand is pretty basic. You do have the ability to tilt the screen, and you do find VESA support, so you can mount the screen on a separate stand if you want. Now for overall look and design, I think Philips has nailed this one. The bezels are thin, and this is great if you plan on having a multi-display setup on your desk. Let's move on and take a look at the AOC24G2, which I've talked about in videos in the past. Basically, this monitor ticks all the boxes. It's got great viewing angles, it's fast, it's got great colors, and it has a brilliant stand that does swivel, tilt, height, etc. Let's talk about the price tag, because right now there is a sale on this particular display where it can be had for just $169, which is a little bit above the $150 budget. I won't be getting into too much detail about this screen as I've talked about these monitors before. If you're interested, you find a video linked up down below. But basically, if you're looking for the best budget gaming monitor, regardless what type of games you're into, this is basically the one you want to get. Now, if you're unable to stretch your budget, I recommend taking a look at the slightly less expensive AOC 2490VX instead. Let's take a look at the details. So this is a 23.8 inch 1080p screen at 144Hz, so you're once again getting that buttery smooth gaming experience. 1080p at 24 inches will make everything look nice and crisp. The panel type is VA, so black levels will be on point, but color reproduction on the other hand won't be as good as a more expensive IPS display. Again, this won't be a deal breaker when gaming, but if you plan on using the monitor to watch movies and photo editing, etc., keep in mind that colors won't be as vivid as on the AOC 24G2. And if that is important to you, I highly recommend spending a few extra dollars to pull the trigger on the 24G2 instead. Anyway, let's jump back to the 2490VX again, and let's cover the rest of the specifications. For screen tear prevention, we once again find AMD FreeSync and G-Sync compatibility. The stand only got tilt adjustment, however thanks to Visa support you do have the option to mount the screen on a separate stand. For ports we find a single HDMI and a display port, and overall a very nice looking monitor that ticking all the essential gaming monitor boxes. With that said, let's move on and talk about my final recommendation, which is coming from a relatively unknown brand called Biotech. This is the GFV22CB, and as the name suggests, we're looking at a 22-inch 1080p monitor with a 5 millisecond response time and 144Hz refresh rate panel. Now once again, we're looking at a VA panel, so black levels and viewing angles are great. However, colors will look a bit washed out compared to the 24G2 from AOC. For screen tear prevention, we once again find both FreeSync and G-Sync compatibility. The stand is unfortunately pretty basic and it only has tilt adjustment, and honestly the stand hasn't the best design out there, but the good thing is the monitor does offer Visa support, so you can put it on a separate stand if you'd like to, and that is a massive bonus. For ports, we find a single display port plus 2 HDMIs. So with that all being said, if you're asking me which out of these 3 monitors I would personally pick, to me it's pretty simple. I would pick the AOC 24G2 any day of the week, and if your budget allows for it, I would say definitely go for this monitor. This is the best monitor you can currently get below $200. Hands down, there is no better option out there. It basically got everything you can possibly ask for. Great colors, contrast, viewing angles, and it's got a stand that does height, tilt, pivot, swivel. It is basically the best $200 monitor on the market. For any questions guys, feel free to leave them down below. I will be back with a brand new video in just a few days. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.